All right, and we are live. Sorry about the mistake earlier. We had some technical difficulties and could not get this to work. I was chatting it up right now, and it just did not work. I'm gonna turn on my cell phone. And could not get this to. It's still kind of echoing. I was chatting it up right now. Okay, so it's just still a little echoey. So we gotta continue playing around with it. I don't know how. I would have to stop the live and continue to work at this. But I just wanted to get on here. My brother Jesus is here. He is controlling the camera action. And then, like I said earlier, I have none other than always Erick. He is a realtor. He is an influencer in the solar sphere. He wants to make sure that everybody transfers from old generic ways to solar. He's also a realtor, like I mentioned before. He works here at City Insight Houston. He also gives back to the community. Any kind of chance to volunteer, he's always there. So I want to bring him on, and thanks for getting on this chat / test for Grow with Ruben. So pretty much just want to learn everybody's journeys from everybody's different perspectives. So thanks for coming on, Erick Mariscal. Let's see here, guys. Having some technical difficulties here. Sorry, not that guy. There you go, this guy. Oops. Wrong. Sorry.
Wrong.
Didn't mean to put the intro in there again.
Wrong. Hi everybody, my name is Erick Mariscal, realtor here with City Insight Houston. Thank you, Ruben, for having me on your podcast.
For sure, man.
Appreciate it. All right, we're good to go. Excellent.
Yeah, definitely. Good to go, man. So hopefully I don't, again, it's not too bad for the audience out there. I do get to, I'm able to read comments. So if you guys can comment on there and tell me how the sound quality is, I would greatly appreciate it. This is, accountability 101 over here. So you let us know if the sound is good and we can continue going. I'd rather not waste a lot of time, trying to produce this if at the end, the finished product is shitty. So.
Yeah, especially like between voice changes. I don't know if I'm like way distant or if I'm close by. Yeah, if y'all can hear me around the same pitch range. Am I echoing in the back or?
So nobody's gonna give us back some feedback. That's great. We'll know. We only get better if we try this, right? So Erick, man, let us know a little bit about you. What's your backstory, like from the beginning?
Well, I'm from Mexico, Juarez. I came here to Houston, basically the U.S. around 1999, 2000.
Okay.
So the reason I was here, I live in Juarez, Mexico, and while I was a kid, around 9, 10 years old, I got a brain tumor. Brain tumors, they call it oligodendrogloma. It wasn't malignant or anything. I just one of my eyes went to like the center, and it was there for like months. And before we were like, you know what something's wrong with your vision, and I stopped. Like I was seeing blurry and everything, but I wasn't telling nobody. You know, you're a kid. You're like,
you didn't know that your eye was to the side.
I didn't. I just started seeing blurry, and I was like, I think I need glasses. And majority of my family members have glasses. I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna tell nobody because I don't want glasses yet. So it eventually got to a point where like, you know what, we need to go check you, and that was part one. My brain tumor, I started in Juarez, and I started the first round of chemotherapy. In there, first to cut it short, it wasn't working well, so I went to Mexico City, where I got radiation, and I still have scars from it, especially starting from this scar right here. It goes all the way to my back. Ever that I got radiated, and basically hair doesn't grow back on that area.
Okay.
So
you cover it pretty well though with I see that you never really get a haircut, you just grow your hair out.
Exactly.
I see the point though.
No, and it's this right here has been kind of recently. A lot of people know me with just a hat because I wore hats for like years, for decades.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is new to me as well, but I got used to it. Where were we?
Oh yeah. So basically, you got cancer.
Yeah, I was in Mexico City.
Okay.
It couldn't the medical bills. Sorry, not medical. The medical care. It wasn't enough. I needed 20% more of the original tumor removed. So that's when I ended up coming here to Houston at the MD Anderson.
Okay.
And it's history from there.
So now I'm guessing for those that don't know, so you beat cancer.
Yes.
So you came over here because I'm guessing Houston has some of the best cancer centers
Correct.
in the world.
The MD Anderson is top notch. My big props to them. I've been to multiple hospitals around Houston, and definitely MD Anderson has been the best treatment-wise.
Do you remember your doctor's name that performed surgery?
Yes, Dr. Courage. Thank you.
Dr. Courage, is that from, you said from MD?
From MD Anderson, correct. Yeah, he's still around. He's not here in Houston no more.
Yeah.
But I've heard that he keeps up with my case.
Oh,
so like, yeah, so that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I had a luncheon with all the doctors in the MD Anderson last year, and that's when I was told.
What's his name?
Dr. Courage.
So Dr. Courage, man, if you're watching this or if you ever get to see this, I would love to have you on this podcast and see it from your perspective, hear it from your perspective. So you went and you came over here, you got that taken care of. So then what happened next? Did you go to school? How old are you right now?
Right now, I'm like 9, 10 years old. I'm turning 10. I turned here, and there used to be a Peter Piper Pizza on Fondren and Bel Air.
Okay.
Around there, that's where I had my 10th birthday.
Nice. Peter Piper Pizza. Peter Piper. I do remember Peter Piper and Godfather's Pizza too.
So during that time, it was just 1 year of treatment with MD Anderson chemotherapy. I got really lucky. Just to start it off, I had two cancers. So this one, it was just pure small chemotherapy doses of pill for a year each day, and it was as a kid I didn't like to swallow the pill, so I crushed it up, and it tasted nasty. But
were you trying to get the effects faster, or
no? Just the being scared of the pill and like getting stuck and.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
What made you think that it was going to get stuck? Just the fact that it was a pill?
No, it's even a smaller kid, as a 6-year-old. played with the markers, and the markers, like, it's just a sticky thing to close it up. I don't know why. I was like, let me clean it up. Put it in my mouth, showed in the middle of class like I was dying, and just that little trauma. They was like, oh, I got over it.
Again, you were 10 at this time.
Right now, yeah, I'm 10 at this time. I'm new to Houston. I'm new to English. I'm barely learning to speak English, even though I've going to El Paso back and forth like almost every weekend. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So El Paso. So you mentioned El Paso. So you came from Juarez over to Houston, and then from Houston you guys moved to El Paso.
No.
Okay.
From Houston, we tried living here for a bit. As soon as the treatment was over and they let me go, they keep monitoring you depending on your treatment. So it started like every week going for blood work, and everything was checked. All right, every month going for an MRI, everything's good. Every 3 months, it kept going that for over the years, and that's why, like, you know what, we need to stay here somehow and continue the treatment here, because it's been the best. So we pushed to that.
So you pushed. So what was the point of going to Juarez then?
It's your home. Your family's back there.
So you have a lot of family.
I have all my family there. You're still used to your friends that hit you up and like, hey, how's it going? They made fundraisers for me over there and everything. And it's like,
yeah.
I haven't seen them ever since.
Oh, you haven't seen them?
I haven't. No.
So you haven't gone back to El Paso in a while?
I haven't yet. It's been a while.
Gotcha. So what happened then? Or, I mean, did your life stop there? Were you like, oh my God, I just survived cancer. Should I go all out?
No, just the reason why like I started with that story is from there is when I started getting to like, you know, I want to give back, because all these treatments that were done for me, and like while having the treatments at the Anderson, there's a bunch of organizations that help you out. And from there I was like, you know what, when I have the chance, I'm gonna help out and do what they did for me to a different kid.
Gotcha.
Yeah, from there it started. You know, you grow up, high school, all that. You start going to college, and in college, I knew it was like college is where I'm gonna find a volunteering group.
So you went into college. What college did you go to?
University of Houston.
And what was your major?
Mechanical engineering technology.
Okay. And you did graduate? You finished?
Yeah, I graduated.
Everything?
It took me a while. 2007 to 2014, all 7 years. 2 years gaps in between.
Okay.
But switched majors.
And what was your goal with that major? What were you trying to do? Because like I'm trying to get into your mindset. Like, okay, I survived cancer once, right? So then I survived cancer. I really don't want to go to school, but you knew that you had to go to school. You're like, you know what? I'm going to go to school, make something out of my life. Or what pushed you in the direction to even those studies?
To engineering. My dad was an architect. Majority of my uncles are engineers over there in Mexico. So from there, like, my family does engineering, I'm gonna do engineering.
Makes sense.
And I understood it. I got it. I got involved into. It started with Photoshop, and like realized, you know what, I like working with the computer and staying there all day and doing work.
Yeah, I have that same feeling too. One of those. I'm really big on sitting on the computer and working. Usually, probably not with AutoCAD or other engineering softwares, but I'm usually inside of like Adobe CC and trying out all their creative apps, putting together websites. I'm one of the types that, you know, if I have for example, if I have a task at hand, so like for example, speaking, I'm one of the type, I don't know if I think this is one of the good qualities about me, that I feel that it's good, and I feel that if I share it and people just do it, then it would be even better for them as well. So, you know, we all kind of, and I'm pretty sure you've done it, if you come to a roadblock and there's something that you don't know how to do, you kind of stop yourself and go teach yourself what it is you need to learn so, for example, right now, I'm trying to get better at speaking clearly without having to throw in a lot of filler words. One of the things that I said, well, now that I'm trying to speak publicly, I need to educate myself on better tactics. You don't really have to recreate the wheel again. You can just teach yourself that you need to do, right? So one of the things that I'm very entrepreneurial, so I like to open up a lot of businesses or even have a lot of ideas. I like to even work on those ideas, and if they, catch any kind of traction, then I'll continue to work at these. And one of the things that I really needed to do is that I was going to pay for somebody to create all these sites for all these different ideas when, I could just go in there and do it myself. Because it's really hard. You're going to be your hardest critique on your own. So it's really hard to, even when paying somebody, it's like, well, am I paying this guy to do a perfect amount of work, or is he just going to, be like, oh, here's $700, make me a site. He's just going to be like, here's a piece of crap. I want to see how much effort, how much work it goes into it. So now if I pay somebody to make a site for me for a project, for an idea, I know the kind of work that goes into it. So now I can feel better and comfortable saying, okay, I'll pay you this much for a site.
That's reasonable.
So I like entrepreneurs that kind of go in it that way. It's like, well, I have to do this. Well, okay, you want to start doing direct marketing? Okay, well, go get good at direct marketing.
Yeah, you taught me that for sure. You taught me a lot of things because I don't know, I didn't know anything about real estate about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yes. And here I am now, so I could definitely all the entrepreneurial tactics that they don't teach you anywhere else, and you already had that experience.
So let's talk about that, right? So college and university. So this is a super touchy subject.
Yeah.
Especially for people that, have so much debt in schools and haven't found a stable job or haven't been able to go into the field that they even want to.
They were promised
or that they want to work in.
Exactly.
I keep saying and I told myself not to say that much. So you go to college, right? You really want to do something. So I don't know, let's say in engineering, just because it's such a popular degree. So any type of engineering. So you go to engineering. When you do that, wouldn't the logical thing to do is worry about where we're going in the next 5 to 10 years to even know if there's going to be that much of work for that field? It's weird how people are like, they're sold on these they're sold on this degree, on this dream. It's like, oh, you gotta do this in order to do this. But they don't even look in the future. Like, if somebody told me, hey, Ruben, you're gonna engineer cassettes, man. And I'm like, oh, snap, yeah, I definitely want to be able to put cassettes together. Well, that's a dead technology. I know that in 5 to 10 years I'm not gonna have it work. Why am I gonna dive in? So then, why do also everybody tries to do the same exact thing and graduate in the same field as everybody else? I thought that kind of college and university is kind of so you can dive deep into the studies of the field that you really want to study, right? Because then you can ultimately get a doctorate in whatever field that you're studying, because you really want to know it. That's the reason that you take the courses. Not because you're promised a job, But everybody does go to college and train to be an employee and go get a job. So I did want to mention that. I know that it's kind of controversial with everybody, and not everybody. Also, I'm not saying that everybody that did go to college is also really smart either. I think that there's just two different types of people that go to college. So you got your degree. What happened next?
No, I definitely agree with you. there's a lot of mistakes I made myself, and it's true. Like you go in there, you have your opportunity to learn something that's gonna help you grow, and it's all together for you, and they don't you don't take advantage of it. I didn't take advantage of it, but besides the point. Where were we at? Sorry.
So, basically, what we're saying is that how long we've been on here for? That's great. So basically, what we're talking about is the reason that you went to school. Like, so you graduated, you got your degree. What happened next?
So, focusing on graduation, like as soon as I graduate, it's gonna be a job for me. There's so many jobs going on right now. This is like 2008, 2012. Like so many jobs going on right now, and I didn't worry about it. I didn't think ahead. I didn't see what type of job I was gonna get, because to me I was just like, as long as it's an engineering job, I can do anything. Like I'm big. I'm smart and shit. I can do whatever I want. And you know, that mindset I had, it was that dragged me down a bit. Like, but I graduated. I looked for jobs. It wasn't working out. I got a good one right before graduation as an internship as a junior scientist. So I studied mechanical engineering, got a job as a lab scientist. I stayed there for 2 years, and they manufacture compressors, liquid and air compressors. Uh-huh. And they had a side research going for carbon materials, which is where I was at. So that's why I was considered. It was considered in my field.
Okay.
And around 2014, like everything was going down. Like people were getting laid off. I got laid off in that time.
What year was this?
2014.
Okay.
So I graduated. I got laid off, and like man, like okay, I graduated and I had some experience, but like I'm still lost. Like, what do I do now? Like all I learned was to make labs, not anything from mechanical engineering.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I've hopped in from jobs after that. I ended up finally getting another job 2 years later in El Paso, Texas.
Okay. Doing what?
Wire EDM machining. So wire EDM machining is, if you heard of CNC machining, computer numerical controlled machining, wire.
And for those that are listening right now and don't know exactly what that is, what exactly are you doing physically, you as a person? What are you doing?
Programming the robots, designing what the cut has to do, because it has to be really precise for tool and die making. There's like, you have huge blocks smash into each other, making a part that's metal. So they have to be so precise that nothing can slip. So that precision it's expensive, and it takes a certain machine like a CNC machine and the wire EDM machine to accomplish that.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're on a computer, touching the machine, getting my experience for like the first time in life. Like, I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm doing this. Yeah. So now you got your title. You're a mechanical engineer, and so when you first got this title of mechanical engineer, if you don't mind, what's the average starting salary for somebody like that?
It's been a while.
So we're still talking back in 2014. Mm-hmm. So things might be completely different.
It was around 70,000.
Okay.
People get a starting salary around 70,000.
Around 70,000. That's not bad, especially for no experienced engineer.
On a good opportunity. Yeah.
You're gonna have to transfer it back to me, and then over here, hit live.
Oh, it's dead.
Camera's dead. Camera's dead, guys. Okay, so let's. No worries. Let's just continue the podcast so you can still hear everything that's happening. Where were we at?
In El Paso, I'm getting my experience in engineering. Everything's like, you know what? I'm finally getting my life together. It's finally about to do grown-up things. You know, start getting into an apartment. Let's see where am I gonna live next years. Already, they were thinking of expanding the company at that time. And like whatever I learned here, I will go back to Houston and continue working. It was a plan that we had, but while that happened, that's what I ended up realizing, that I have cancer again, but from this one was colon cancer.
Oh snap! So it's always a shock to me. I know that I know this, but let me just recap for those that are probably just hopping in right now. So Erick Mariscal had cancer around the age of 10, beat cancer, went through school, became an engineer, and now he's getting cancer again, and he's about to continue from there.
Pretty much. So I was getting sick. I was getting so weak, super weak, and pale, and it was like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. And
also, I'm also a DACA recipient, so it had become a time for me to renew my DACA renewal, and went back to Houston just to get a renewal. Like, guys, I'm gonna leave work for 3 days and get that taken care of and come back to work. And they saw me like, "No, man, you look pretty sick. Let's just check you out before you head out."
Yeah.
That same day, they put me into surgery.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long did you have to do any chemo or anything?
I had to do chemo, yes, for 8 weeks. 8 weeks in a row.
So
16 weeks, because it skipped every now and then.
So is cancer something that is
hereditary?
Yeah.
No, they thought about that. They did a lot of gene research on me. They pulled blood and they try to see where I got it from.
Yeah.
None of my family members had it. Only an uncle had it, but he at an older age.
Gotcha.
So trying to figure out who was at a younger age that get that, and nobody has even
immediate touch.
They have diabetes. A lot of them have diabetes. But
yeah, that's something that's also very popular with in my family is diabetes. From my father and from my mother's side, they both had it. So I'm glad that I'm like taking part somewhat. Right now I'm on it pretty hardcore, but keto pretty much just transforms your body to burn fat for energy.
Exactly.
So I'm burning, and hopefully this will kick me out from anywhere near. I'm not having sugar or carbs.
That's pretty good, man.
Ever?
No, that's really good.
Yeah, I've lost, so not this past Monday, but the Monday before, I was 230 pounds. Today, it's Friday, so on Monday it'll be 2 weeks. I'm down 20 pounds so far. I'm trying to get to 200 by my birthday. No reason why. We are having a coming to America party, so I might have to take off my shirt and have one of those like things. And the reason that I'm having a coming to America party is because I did my DNA test and checked my DNA. I'm pretty much from everywhere. I'm actually more Middle Eastern than my Middle Eastern wife, which is kind of crazy. And I'm 43% African, which was not that much of a surprise, but it was a surprise when I found out what parts of Africa. Some Spanish, some Portuguese, some French, some Native Indians, and a whole bunch of other. Like Cherokee Indian, a whole bunch of other stuff, where I was like 1% Middle Eastern. I'm also like 2% Greek.
I need to do that.
Yeah, it was very interesting to find out where my DNA has been around the world. So I say that I have like an evolutionary advantage. So for example, like I don't get sunburn. I don't know if that's just because I'm dark, but I think it's probably because my DNA's been everywhere, survived everywhere, so I don't really get sunburned anymore. Even when the sun is like just shining on my face. So cancer. We're back at cancer. What exactly happened? So you said 10 weeks. It took 10 weeks to do the radiation. After radiation, what happened?
No, only radiation was the first time when I was 10. No more radiation ever since then. No, but it's good that from my experiences, I became more aware of like your food is definitely critical in your health, and I wasn't like that before. I definitely ate a bunch of anything that was late at night, all that was bad for you, a bunch of sugars. But now I stay healthy. I do my best. It was definitely a life changer. But the chemotherapy, this one was kind of like you see in the movies where you go into the hospital and they have to set you down, put you in IV, and be there for hours for the chemotherapy session.
Okay. So you did the chemotherapy. How long did it take you to defeat this cancer?
Ever from the first surgery. The first surgery they did, as soon as like, you know what, you need surgery the same day, I went to the emergency room, and there they removed part of my colon, which I got really lucky because a lot of people that have colon cancer, they have to get a bag outside of their intestines, basically, where you don't use your intestines anymore, you don't put them on. It's all in the bag. So I got really lucky and didn't need that, and the doctor that performed it was Dr. Joseph Cali. So thank you much for him. He's the one that removed around 10 inches of my transverse colon, like the upper side of the colon. Removed it, stitched it back together. It heals. Your colon is the one that heals one of the fastest. Okay. So that's why it was able to heal. It was only liquids the first 3 days. Actually, only liquids for months.
Wow.
Yeah, but really so just pure water and chicken broth the first few days.
So how much weight did you lose?
I was losing weight a lot before. That's when I started getting pale, and I didn't know it. I thought it was just me. Like I only work in the past. I don't do much to the gym no more. I don't play racquetball no more. It was me not going to the gym. But no, what it was happening is that I was dying. So I was losing weight. I ended up to 140 around that time.
Oh snap! And you're about what, 6'1" or something?
Yeah, I'm 6 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, so I lost a lot of weight that time. I guess at that point I was the worst. It was the worst from the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the same day surgery, went back, recovery. Technically, there I was done with cancer.
Okay.
The rest is just keeping up that it doesn't grow back. Cancer is really tricky, and this one was located close to the lymph nodes. Lymph nodes is little nerves that you have that are connected. They connect everything in your body. So what they were scared of is that they wanted to, like, you have some of the lymph nodes where we operated you. They had some residue, and it might transfer. It's connected everywhere. It might transfer like anywhere at this point.
Okay.
So they had to monitor that, and also continue the chemotherapy, and that's why it was. The chemotherapy was 8 weeks, 8 sessions every 2 weeks, for like, I guess it lasted around 6 months. Yeah, and MRIs, CT scans, blood work every 2 months.
That's a lot of day taken out of that time was taken away from you.
No, precisely. I couldn't do anything. Like after the surgery, since it's right in the abs, like the core.
Yeah.
I couldn't work. Like, you're not supposed to work for 6 months. You're not supposed to lift more than 10 pounds for 6 months. You know, from coming from engineering, like lifting, like setting up, all that. So what do I do now? You know, I'm stuck at home.
Yep.
Doing chemotherapy, my expertise that I have, like I gotta find a job that lets me miss work so I can go to chemotherapy. That it won't let me lift heavy things, and yet in my expertise. So
That's not gonna happen.
It became tough. Yeah. It became tough. So I started. That's where my entrepreneurial
mindset
journey started.
Okay. So, just a little recap here, a little bit of setting of where we're at. So you are now dealing with this, not being able to lift a certain amount of weight. You literally just can't work. You can just stay at home and work off your computer. It's really hard to find an engineering job that will accept that, which makes sense for any kind of business. So now you're like, okay, well now I know that I'm not going to find a job. Do you just like lazy it out? Do you just give up? Do you think about it emotionally? Are you like bummed out? What happened? And because I can tell you that a lot of people come to a point, okay? Cancer is huge. Cancer is huge. That would be probably a point for me, but people will come to like a situation where like either their parents are splitting up, they have like a boyfriend or girlfriend that's splitting up, there's like an end in their marriage, they lose a car, they lose their phone, and then they automatically are like, no, I can't keep going. My life sucks. Boo-hoo. Woe is me. Woe is me. Right? So, and then that's pretty much what happened. So, like, for example, there's somebody that I knew, I won't even mention any names today, that pretty much had everything going for them. I won't even say gender, but I should. No big deal. But they had everything going for them, on track to be successful. Because you can kind of see people that are going the right way. You can see people that are making those kind of mistakes, and you just see them kind of stumbling throughout life. So this person was actually making good strides, and then something happened where they lost, I don't remember exactly what they lost. I believe it was a brand new vehicle that they just paid for, and I don't know if it was insured or not, but then they would have to pay it. And then from that point on, those strides that person made just started to become excuses after excuses. Then it just became like, I can't do this anymore. And that's it. That's that person's like, that's who that identity is. Because if I can even remember them from this event, that's what your identity is. So that doesn't seem to be an issue with you. That didn't become your identity. What made you just like, what? Screw it. Life goes on, and I gotta find the next thing.
No, don't get me wrong. I went through all of that. I went through my depressing days. I'm just everything's wrong now. Like I'm just not gonna do anything. But right now. There's ways to learn everywhere.
Yeah.
So I took advantage of that. You know what? Okay, I'm in this situation. Fine. I've beat cancer before. Fine. This is me. That you need to tackle something bigger than yourself. Like you're here for something. You have to continue going somehow.
Yeah.
So I started going to YouTube. You start seeing videos of like self-help. I started like, I'm gonna teach myself a bunch of subjects. So whenever I'm healthy, I'm gonna be someone that's well-rounded in everything.
Yeah.
So I started reading audiobooks, videos, summaries. It's just a downhill spiral. Even though I was learning, I was going nowhere. Okay, what do you do now?
So you're basically trying to put your hands everywhere and see what catches on?
Exactly.
Okay.
So running, and from there it has to be something with engineering. What could it be?
Right. So you wanted to stay in engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I'm like, oh, I saw solar panels that are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's that about? I saw a company, Power, that were offering the license where you can promote online the solar power, where they teach you the classes on how everything works, how solar panels actually work. They don't let you do anything until you get certified from what you learn.
Okay.
So like, oh, I can do that. I can start doing that. Yeah. But still clueless on how, like,
the business aspect.
How business works. Like, I'm an engineer. Like, all I know is like numbers, and you tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Yeah, I get it. So you got into the solar, and you're still doing solar till today.
Till today, correct.
Okay, so you're still doing solar till today. You are now selling this service.
Yes, promoting the service, being one of the providers. The company has a provider as well. So the company, they're partnered with providers that are around the whole entire nation, even Australia and Canada.
Okay.
And you want to look for solar, you sign up, and depending on your zip code, it goes to the provider that you need. But right now, Power has grown over the years that they become the main provider now.
Okay.
And that's just majority of what you see here in Texas, especially here in Texas, is gonna be Power PVC.
Gotcha. So basically, you are a sales rep for Power.
Yes, and in there
consultant.
After certain amounts of progress that you provide for them and installations, you move to the next level, which you can be the person that does all the work. Right? You can be the actual consultant and the one that has all the paperwork ready for you. Basically, like the realtor.
Gotcha.
Like, that's when I started looking into houses. Like, oh, like there's homes. There's like, this is how home works. So I got certified in that.
Okay.
And now I'm a solar consultant.
So you're a solar consultant, and just to sidetrack here for like a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I notice this a lot too with a lot of business owners, not just business owners, but a lot of people that have ideas. A lot of people have ideas, and sometimes they go into that idea or that project without knowing, okay, how am I gonna make money from this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, now I have it. Nobody's gonna provide you with leads. You have to know all aspects of that business, because like, yeah, you can provide service now, but now you need customer relationship management, you need sales, you need outbound marketing, you need any kind of digital marketing, you need any kind of direct marketing. You got to learn how to build relationships. You got to learn how to build funnels.
They teach you some of that.
They teach you some of that.
But
okay.
At the end, it comes to you. Like, you're the one. Like, it's your business. Like, it's your business. Like, this is what we teach you. Like, you can do this, and this works. But at the same time, everybody comes together. It's like there's a group where everybody shows like, oh, you can also do this. So it becomes like ideas sharing between each other. So you start getting better. All your team and
by continuing
each other by
auditing each other. Gotcha. So that's pretty much the auditing is something that we do very popularly here at City Inside Houston, which I do want to give a shout out to City Inside Houston for letting me use the space for Grow with Ruben podcast. So I do want to give you guys a shout out. Shout out to City Inside Houston. So you become a salesman. So back to what I was saying with other people. So for example, I have my site Grow with Ruben. I do get comments on how to do certain things, or they'll ask me a question, just simple questions that I don't mind ever answering on there. So if you go to like growwithruben.com, there's a little chat bot on there. You ask me any kind of entrepreneur related question, and I will find the best answer for you of what I think would work. Not everything is 100%, but I will always try to focus on cash flow for your business first. So the first thing that you should be making is money. You need money to grow your business.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of times that I get somebody that would want to become like YouTube famous, or they want to be able to have like a Shopify store, and or you don't have to use Shopify. You can use WooCommerce. You can use whatever other big e-commerce is out there. Yeah, so I get a lot of those questions, and some of my clients too. We also, they don't know where that cash flow is going to come in from first.
Exactly.
And cash flow, like I said, is so important. So you have right now you're starting a business. So let's say this, you back in the day, solar. I can sell solar. Fantastic. How am I going to get my first customer? Well, now you have plan A, B, C, and D. You have direct marketing. You have outbound marketing. You have, let's say you follow these niche markets. You make videos. You make podcasts. Like right now, you have all these outlets. What's providing you with traffic and leads more? That, whatever brings more to you, I would focus 100% of it's just you on that. I think there's a disconnect between people and being honest with themselves on like what works the best, and instead they go with, this is what I like to do. Okay, so like back in, let's say 2000, and you had a blog that was on fire. It's not the same thing anymore. You'll have other mediums now that's like videos taking over, podcasts is coming in, is taking over. You've got to change it up to what's working. So that's one of the things that it's really hard, especially if you're like one person running your business. You have to focus on your business. It's really hard to keep up with the next marketing trends. So it's really good to have something, just like you have a bodybuilder that trains you, any dietitian, your basketball coach, your baseball coach, whatever kind of coach. It's really good that your business has that marketing director in there. And then if you can't afford to have like a marketing director, you can't pay a full-time position for your business, then check out Grow with Ruben, and we pretty much make everything more automated and efficient. So you can focus more on what it is you need to do. So that's one of the services that I did want to provide for people that are like, I want to get my idea out there, but they don't have the time to focus on the marketing.
So especially trying to do multiple things.
Yeah, trying to do multiple things. So like, for example, let's say that you back in the day, you just started doing solar. How much, how beneficial would it be to have something like this, something like a Grow with Ruben, that product that pretty much takes care of your marketing and keeping track of everything?
Oh, it would have been. It's such a you got to use your tools, and that's definitely one that I would need. Because doing it all by yourself, like anything by yourself is. You can do it. You can prove yourself all day, all years that you can do it, and and you're amazing. But having somebody to help you with that, and still helping you, and you having like ways to like, I can do more now. Yeah, that was my goal, but I know how to do it. It's done. Let me move on to the next phase of my potential.
Yeah.
So that's definitely...
Yeah, and it helps you, kind of alleviate time, have more time for yourself, and kind of de-stresses you too, because having that on your mind 24/7, it's like, what I need to do next? You'll grow gray hairs really, really fast.
Right now.
So, all right, so we're at a solar. So you're doing solar, you're building your business. What happens next?
I'm doing solar. I'm doing my business. And you know what? I need help. I started looking for help. See a bunch of accounts, how they're doing, and then I saw you.
Yeah.
And then I saw you. Like, oh, but my friend Ruben, it's been years. We went to high school together. I wonder what he's doing. And so like, hey, come to the office and just check us out. see what we do. And I was like, it's a real estate. They know about houses, like solar's all about houses. Like what?
Solar houses.
It has to be a combination somehow. Let me check them out.
Yeah.
And I popped in here randomly. I didn't even tell you I was coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I was just like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, he told me I could go anytime, so I'm gonna go anytime.
Yeah. That's funny. So you started, and then from there on, I mean, I can kind of. I remember you were like, hey man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It was more about the solar. I told you about what I do. So here at City Inside Houston, we sell real estate. We help home buyers find their perfect deal. And then some people that are still renting, we also help them find the best apartment at the best price. We're not trying to get anything out of it. We're just trying to build community and help each other out. At the end, we'll get a bone, hopefully. But I told you about this. I told you what I did to do it, and I told you how I got there. And then you were like, you didn't even ask. I don't think you even asked questions. I think you were like, all right. And you started doing it. And you started studying. You started going to school. You started doing that. While you were going to school, you kept coming here pretty much almost all the time, I want to say. Kind of dove in and learned everything.
An opportunity to learn, and I had to take it.
So pretty much here, you pretty much run everything here in the office. You know how to control everything. You know how to develop everything. You even got into photography. You even got into videography. Even some sound. Something, everything. You kind of just jumped in and were like, I'm ready to do this. And then finally, after a while, you got your real estate license.
Correct. Yeah.
Started helping clients. So now, not only can you help somebody buy a house, you can also tell them about how they can save on their energy bill and how they can ultimately start saving the world by switching over to solar.
Correct. Carbon footprint, reducing it.
Remove the carbon footprint.
One house at a time.
One house at a time. That's crazy. So then from there, you have you're a part of you're a realtor. You're a part of the HAR, and you also have your own site where people can work with you, or
yes.
Or how do you usually do your marketing?
My marketing I do through multiple streams of social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And there's multiple ways, companies that help you source out as well, and apps that can. Right now, one that's working for me is Let Go.
Okay.
Yeah, so Let Go is pretty cool, and you have your Facebook market, all that, and what I need is start to invest in marketing.
So pretty much all the marketing that you're doing right now is just by hand.
Yeah.
Just doing it yourself. And you said the best one so far has been Let Go.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So you went through Let Go. I know that's not a very popular thing, but maybe after this podcast, you probably gave every realtor your hot thing to do.
As long as people get what they need, I don't mind.
Yeah, I do talk about, no secrets, share knowledge is a very famous saying of mine. Well, I won't say famous because I'm not famous or anything, but it's a thing that I like to say is to know secrets, because I don't think, first,
it's not your secret.
It's not my secret. Second is, if the only thing stopping you from getting better than me is something that I know, then that's not, I'm really just stopping the competition from using something that I know. You should be able to be best, If one of your secrets is going to give up your whole entire game, then it's not so much of you're not that good at what you do, because you only have this one secret, that will work. Or also another thing that I don't believe you should do is pay for information. So universities are really good at doing that, especially outdated information that you can find pretty much anywhere.
Precise.
They're really good at charging you for that information. I think that a lot of other companies, when they try to show you something, they also try to charge you for this information that's out there. What's not common is the habits. and the practices. So, for example, there's something in your habit that was like, okay, I need to go and do the next thing. I need to find just the fact that you thought to yourself, okay, let me see what kind of connections in my network is doing something that I can kind of jump into, or might know something, or might point me in the right direction for something. The fact that you did that, that's the key right there. You know, some people are just like, they come to these situations where you're at, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, there's something I can do.
Just stopping me. Excuse.
I turned in 20 applications. I turned in 30 applications, and I haven't heard back.
Used to be me too.
So, I mean, like, there's a point where you have to, you know, kind of take ownership. Like, if you really want a job, yeah, send in an application. Then you also send an email. Find the doorkeepers, and then find the main person. Show up, you know, maybe, and if it's like a different type of, let's say that's not like a corporate company, it's just a different type of company where they take in people, go do some work, go and check it out, show them what you can do, and then from there you can put a price tag on what you do, because now it's worth it. We saw the worth, you know. So, but that's why I wanted to do these podcasts, is because there's these little things in these podcasts, especially when you hear just people talking about the main ingredient on what helps you get to the next place. And it's just things like that. Like, you beating cancer, that's a major life event, right? That not a lot of people, not the majority, it will experience. But one of the things that they can take from this is the fact that you're like, well, fuck, I'm stuck. Let me look through Facebook. Let me see what connections I can use. Right? People won't do that. That's one of the key things. I'm so glad that you said that. I appreciate it. So yeah, man, where were we at?
No, it was basically learning and the mindset that you really are unbeatable until you really try. You have to keep working on your goals. Like, any setbacks is just something to tell you that you have to think differently, not necessarily give up.
Right. Yeah. So weird. You know, we're emotional creatures, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I tend not to live by my emotions. I like to, even before I act in any kind of way, I like to think about it logically and see, okay, well, 2 steps ahead, how is this going to affect anybody else? So I think logically before I act. Some people are not like that. Some people get hit with an emotion and then they burst out into whatever they want to say.
I'm sorry, I was just emotional.
I was just emotional, out of control. So how do you stop your emotions? Like, how are you like, you know what? I don't care that all this is happening. I'm going to continue going. Was there a thought that, like, well, if I don't do this now, I'm going to be a bum in 5 years? If I don't do this now, I'm going to be a bum in 10 years? Like, what is it that made you go, you know, screw my emotions, I still have to do this?
No, just seeing that, like, you know what, I'm going through the path where, like, I'm putting myself as being a bum, and like I always saw people like, how do you get to that point, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, no, I can't get to that point. Like, all this setback, you know, you just wake up a different. You go in depressed one day, you wake up like it's a new day. Something's just an opportunity.
Every day.
Yeah.
There's so much opportunity out there. It's crazy when somebody tells me I can't find a job.
And just it's I don't know how it switched. I just, you know, like, I need to do this. Like, I need to find something else.
Yeah. That's intense, man. That's intense. So what do you have going on now? So we're now at a current time now where you're at now. So what's going on now?
So right now, I'm part of the City Inside Houston team. I help around in the back end of the side, and the agents that come in, help them out and develop their career. And just whatever I'm being taught, I teach.
You teach back.
I teach back. Yeah.
So one of the things I because me and you focus on two different aspects of city inside Houston. You know, one of the things that there's some that come in experience, you know, and those that come in experience, they do it their way, and that works. That's perfectly fine. But then there's some that come in a new way. What I really like about City Inside Houston is that no matter where you're at, we have like phase one, and phase one pretty much just puts it in steps on what you need to build that solid foundation. Which, by the way, I know that we're kind of late on this, but I'm still writing and putting together phase one. I just want to make sure that it's 100% concrete, and it's something that we can only make once that will use for fit forever, almost. Well, nothing's going to fit forever, but that would fit for a couple of years. So I'm glad that you're using what we have now, and you're making that work. So where can these listeners find you to follow you?
Oh, my Instagram and Facebook, Realtor Erick Mariscal.
Realtor Erick Mariscal.
Yeah, at Realtor Erick Mariscal.
At Realtor Mariscal.
Erick Mariscal.
At Realtor Erick Mariscal.
Yeah, my name. Just at Realtor.
It's Realtor at Erick Mariscal. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram.
It's on Instagram and Facebook.
It's on Instagram and Facebook. What about YouTube?
YouTube, I have my account, but I just haven't uploaded anything in there yet. But the plan is to have everything that basically go over any real estate tips and just do my own version of them.
Gotcha.
Set up a YouTube account and have it there, and also having it here in the office for this is a combination.
So you're also the host of City Inside Houston Live Update on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on Facebook Live, man.
Every Tuesday at 11 a.m. You know, I just talk about quick weekly updates on the market, something that happened during the week that we would like to talk about, and people that are listening could join in and start talking about it, so we can just have a little discussion and together and see just getting different perspectives from each other, the people that come through it. So
basically, the Houston community, it's like a place for a live update. Houston community, people can talk about their opinions on areas, what needs to be done in the areas.
Exactly.
So it's just for people to come in and have a voice and a visual that people can see that it's being reported, while providing, valuable information so people can make more educated decisions when purchasing or buying any kind of real estate in Houston. Correct. Or Cypress, Katy, anywhere else in the surrounding areas.
Here's Presoria,
all those areas. So you're doing these live Tuesdays. I know that we have it in the budget. There's also giveaways, and tell me about how you go about giving these gifts away. First, it's like, I know that you told me it's like for Houston residents, the weekly giveaways.
Oh, the weekly. Well, we're working on that, but the weekly giveaways is that's this last week. We have one where what you had to do is you have to like us on Facebook.
Okay.
And then comment for us on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And add us, and in there we'll have the raffle of who will be the winner.
Got it. So basically, they just need to like it on Facebook, and this is for this week, so it changes every week.
It changes every week because sometimes we especially this last week is I consider like a big gift.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be more something more of a challenge, so that not everybody could get it, because it's I think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's a couple steps.
Yeah, a couple steps.
If actually people are taking the time to do like a 3-thing ask, then it would probably be worth it. But man, is there anything else that you would like to tell the audience? Is anything a project that they should follow that you're doing?
Just what I do like to tell the audience, like besides anything with real estate, is any family members or anyone that you know that like's in the process of cancer, don't bring in the the vibe of pittiness around them.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Wow.
they can do it. Like when you're sick, everybody around you tells you that like, oh, you can't, like, don't move, we'll do this for you. Like, oh no, you poor you. So you grow up and like, oh, poor me.
Yeah.
And no, like, don't tell him that. Like, tell him like, hey, you're gonna get out of this. You're gonna be strong. Like, what can you do right now? Like, how can you be strong right now? And keep encouraging that instead of the opposite.
Right.
So that's just my thought on that. On if you have any family members going through anything,
Yeah.
just reiterate to them, like, you're tough. Like, help them out. Don't pity on them. Just like, it's hard because there's so many different cases.
Yeah.
And I have plenty of friends that passed away from it. So I know it can be hard to keep
Not
that,
have pity?
to not feel
Bad?
bad for somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. That does sound like something that I would have a hard time with if I knew that something was going to happen. But I can definitely understand it from your perspective, how that can be very damaging.
Yeah.
And that could have been very damaging for you, but you knew logically that it could affect you in a bad way, so you didn't let it affect you. So the camera's dead. Erick, I appreciate you coming in today and sharing your story.
I wanted to finish it off.
No, please, go ahead.
Just besides that, I didn't want to finish on that note. Just, I'm here to help anybody and like just be have an emotional assistance. Share your story with me. Share your cancer story with me. Like, I like to do it. I have all my friends. We all talk about each other's story. And at the end of all these conversations, we're just regular people to each other.
You're going to have to repeat that one more time for me. Just repeat it one more time. So basically you're saying is that if somebody's going through anything, you said they can reach out to you.
Yeah.
Because you're a part of a volunteer service.
That's from the side. I'd like to do volunteering, and I also know a lot of ways to volunteer. So people who like to volunteer, contact me as well, because we can set up events and group events that we can work out and help the community out.
I gotcha. Just trying to put something on here.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
if anybody, if you just need some kind of like person to talk to about your treatment or like, oh, I have this as well, like what you do, I'm more than happy to share what I did and a couple mistakes that I did. And
how do they reach you?
They can reach me through anywhere, Instagram, Facebook.
Phone number? You want to put your phone number out
my
there?
phone number is 832-405-9575. Call me, text me anytime. For different multiple ways. You want to just chat, do volunteering, thinking of seeing what solar energy can do for you. If you want to rent, buy, sell a home. But especially if you're trying to do volunteering work and you want somebody to organize that for you, let's work on that, because big events together is when it's most fun. So I think that would be cool. A city inside Houston volunteering event. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something we did speak about before in the past, about being able to volunteer. So I know that you volunteer for multiple services. It doesn't have to be cancer. I know you volunteer at Planet Forward, which is about planting vegetables and teaching that. I know there's another one where you do like workouts for people that are just trying to get fit.
Yeah, we are One Fitness.
We are One Fitness.
They do basically group workouts for people that want to join, and at the same time fundraise for for a patient. Right now, I believe her name is Avelia. She's going through chemo as well, and just needs fundraising for her treatments. So they do that, and plan it forward. They teach and they help refugees from the Congo to come in and learn how to farm and be stabilize themselves here in the city. They have multiple spots imposed. You can go in and learn about farming. It's always
That's really interesting.
It's always pretty fun.
That's really interesting because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people in our generation I'm pretty sure that people from the 60s are a lot better at farming and growing their own food and surviving out there without technology than somebody from today. So that's really good that they can that they're teaching people how to be able to pretty much just be able to live without technology, without fast food. That's insane. Let's see here. So any other when you serve on these volunteer groups, what do you get out of it?
Oh, well, one thing I learned is that volunteering gives back to you. Your goal is to give back, but you ended up receiving something at the end.
I got you.
But what I get out of it is just me going back, like you did it. You helped somebody out because somebody helped you out at some point, and you don't have to. They didn't expect thank you. I don't expect to thank you. It's just part of as a person that not you should do, but the way I like to live.
You like to give back.
I like to give back.
Definitely. Cool, Erick, man. That's very honorable of you, and I appreciate you again taking the time and doing this test podcast, Grow with Ruben Podcast 1. We're gonna have a lot of these at least once a week with different people. Also, check us out on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, wherever podcasts are at, and you should just look up Grow with Ruben and you'll see us on those. Also, make sure to tune in if y'all want to keep up with Erick. You gotta know where to find him. If y'all want to see him live, check him out at follow City Inside Houston on Facebook and check out his live. They're very informative and very beneficial. Check it out, guys.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you. And let me see how we can stop this stream here without going on forever. All right. Thanks, guys. You have a great day.
Peace.